Hey everybody, it is Krista with Team Ginge Cosplay Creations bringing you another tutorial today. Today we're going to be doing a 2D beard, which basically just means it's just color, no actual hair being stuck onto the face. This is a perfect technique for sort of that rugged stubble look. We're going to be basing today's look on Stephen Amell's character Oliver Queen from the CW show Arrow. It's really quick and easy to apply and remove, which glued on hair is not. It's super useful if for whatever reason you can't grow a beard, whether physically you can't grow it or you can't grow for work or anything like that. This is a really quick and easy way to sort of get that rugged, I didn't care to shave for the last week look. Anyway, let's start with what you'll need. So first and foremost, you want to start with your paints. I'm going to be using rubber mask grease paints, but you can use any kind of cream paint, whether it's a lipstick or just a cream color, anything like that. Most importantly, you're going to want a kind of bluish gray like this one. Other than that, you're just going to want colors that kind of match the tones in your hair or the wig you're going to be wearing. Secondly, you're going to want a fish tank filter. You can get these as special sponges that give that kind of breakup look that this kind of a sponge will. But I find the cheapest and easiest way to find it is just go to the pet store and get a filter for fish tanks. You can just kind of rip a piece off. And lastly, you're going to want some kind of palette to either mix your colors or just to pull them out of the tin, and something to pull them out of the tin with. A butter knife is perfectly acceptable for that. If you do get the cream colors in the tube, you can obviously just squeeze them right onto the palette, but if you're maybe not able to get quite the right color you want, you can always mix them together on this. Alright, let's get to work. Okay, so we're going to start by doing a bit of an outline in kind of a bluish tint. I'm going to be using my fish filter. Now when you dab it in your color, you probably just want to tap it off a bit, because you don't want it to be like super blue, you just want it to kind of make a shadow. So we're going to start just kind of making the mustache here. And it should be quite subtle, so here you don't really see it too much in the camera. And even in my mirror it's very, very subtle. You just want a little bit. And you just want to start small because you can always add more. Now, our darling Stephen Amell grows an amazing beard, so we want to make sure that it's not patchy and comes in nice and even. If you get a few spots like this where there's too much paint, just sort of smudge them in a little bit. And you'll be able to cover that up a little bit with a different color when you get your full colors in there. Because we're going with Arrow, we don't need to go up too high with the beard. But if you're going for something like a Sam Elliott kind of beard where it goes all the way up to his eyeballs, then, you know, go as high as you need to, or stay as low as you need to. If you're doing something more like a Tony Stark or Doctor Strange, you know, you want to keep it a little cleaner. But for this look, we're going early seasons, not the full-on beard Arrow quite yet. Make sure when you are dabbing, you're not swiping, because you're going to get a bit of a muss, whereas you want to have those nice sharp hairs, basically. Now, when you start to add your colors, you want to make sure that your colors match your hair. If you're going to be wearing a wig, obviously match the wig colors, but if you're just going with your natural hair, you want to make sure that it kind of fits in. So for me, I obviously want something that's a little bit more auburn, and people's beards are usually a little bit lighter than their hair, I find. So you want to kind of err on the side of light if you're going to go one way or the other. Now, make sure you don't use the same end as your other one, because otherwise your colors are going to get all muddy. So for this, I'm just going to flip it around and use the other end, but for my other colors, I'm going to actually use another piece of of sponge there. So again, we want to start with kind of the lighter colors because they're gonna stand out better if you're not putting them directly on top of the other colors. So I'm just gonna go with a bit of a yellowy color to kind of get those blonde highlights in there. If you get it on your lips, that's okay, it will go away. Now be careful, if you are using a bit of a blonde color like a yellow, just make sure you don't mess it in too much, otherwise you're going to end up with green. And unless you're going for an alien beard, probably not what you're looking for. So now I'm going to got a little too much yellow there. It does happen, but so it's really hard to, once you get the multiple layers in, it's really hard to take that off. So do your best to go light, because you can always add, but taking it away is harder. So I'm going to go in with now kind of a darker auburny color, and this is obviously going to be the most obvious part of the beard stubble. So you just want to try to keep it really clean of where you want it. And again, you can kind of air getting closer to the lips if you can, because you can always wipe your lips off. But yeah, and using a smaller sponge, like as tedious as it is to going dab, 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 you know, to do little areas like this, you want to make sure that you're not getting a ton of hair in places that you don't want it. Now our darling Oliver has some thicker hair right in here and on his mustache. So you want to make sure that that's kind of the darkest bit. And then the edges out here you want to do a little bit lighter because his isn't necessarily sparser, but I think he keeps it a little shorter on the edges here. And again, starting with less on the sponge is better than more. And there you have it, a nice two-dimensional beard, nice and simple and easy. Depending on what products you use, it can wipe off really easily, so that's one downside of using something like this. But it's going to look really good right off the bat. It doesn't take a whole lot of time, to learn. So this is my suggestion if you're going to go with a beard for anything, daily use or cosplay or whatever you want to use it for. Definitely make sure that you're matching it to whatever color hair you're getting. Like I said earlier, very important for the authenticity. And really make sure you get that blue underlayer. If you've ever seen someone who has had a beard for a long time and they've shaved, you'll notice that there's a bit of a kind of a bluish gray tint underneath it. So getting that in there is really gonna make it look more authentic. Try it with different things, you know, give it a few runs before you go out and wear it out in public, but yeah, show us what you get, because I'd love to see it. Hopefully you've enjoyed me with a beard. It's not going to be a normal thing, I don't plan on it at least, but I don't know, maybe it'll grow on me. Beard jokes. Awesome. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this tutorial and learned lots, and I really hope to see what you guys do with it, whether it's costume or just daily wear. I really enjoy seeing people's amazing work, and there's so much amazing stuff out there, so please let us see what you've done. Have a good one.